If you've been watching the news lately, then you already know that New York is heading into a new political era. The recent mayoral election has brought in what many call a progressive experiment in the city's governments. And while some residents are optimistic, there are many others, and especially those who have worked hard their entire lives to build their businesses, their careers, and their families. And they're starting to wonder if the city that they loved their whole life is changing in ways that no longer are going to suit them, their families, and their personalities. And if that sounds familiar to you, you are not alone. A growing number of New Yorkers are quietly planning their exit, looking for a place that offers freedom, sunshine, and financial breathing room. And that's where Arizona comes in. So my name is Dawn Dickinson. I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Arizona, and I help people relocate from other states to Arizona. And my story actually begins a lot like yours. My family moved from New York to Arizona in the 1970s for some of the reasons that you're probably considering making the move yourself. Opportunity, affordability, and a better quality of life. I grew up here watching Arizona transform to small little towns in the desert, the Wild West, to one of the states that's most attractive for people to relocate in 2025, 2026. So when I talk about making this move, I understand it from both ends. One, as a real estate agent helping people relocate to the state of Arizona, and two, as a former New Yorker that moved here and with my family assimilated to the state from New York. And I have lived in many parts of Arizona, so I can probably help you figure out which part of the state would be best suitable for your family and your move. So in this video, I'm going to break down why so many New Yorkers are considering making the move and help you figure out which part of the state might be feeling the most like home to you. So before we get going, my name is Dawn Dickinson. I am an active real estate agent in the state of Arizona, a full-time agent, and I sell primarily in Sedona Verde Valley, Flagstaff, and sometimes Phoenix and Prescott. I do have partner agents in the area that I don't sell in. So if you're ever thinking of buying or selling a home in Arizona, please give me a call or a text or an email and I'll get back to you. My contact information is always in the description below. So let's start a little bit about what is driving the shift. What is causing New Yorkers to want to move away to other states like Arizona and Florida. For decades, New York has been a symbol of opportunity, but recently the challenges have been adding up. Higher taxes, expensive housing, and increasing regulations on both individuals and on businesses. And many residents are saying that it feels harder and harder to get ahead in the state that they love and that they called home for so many years. And when you pair this with the long winters, the crowded streets, and some of us see as declining quality of life, it's no surprise that relocation searches from New York to Arizona or possibly Florida, Texas have skyrocketed over the past couple of years. Now, here's the difference. Arizona actually offers many of the same freedoms and advantages of the other states without the humidity, the hurricanes, and coastal overcrowdings. I know my family kind of split up in the 70s. Half of us moved to Arizona and a lot of people also moved to Florida, and two very good choices, I would say, if you are a New Yorker looking for a nicer climate and fewer government regulations, lower property taxes, and things like that. Now, unlike some of the southern states that are experiencing growing pains, Arizona's been managing its growth pretty carefully, investing in infrastructure, technology, and livable communities. So why Arizona, you might be asking? Well, let's look at some of the basics first. The overall cost of living here is about 30 to 35% lower than New York, and there's no state tax on Social Security income. Property taxes are significantly lower, often just a fraction of what you pay in the Northeast. And I know my My aunt, for instance, had a beautiful house out in Suffolk County in Long Island that they grew up in, raised their kids in, was paid off, and at the time they were ready to retire, they couldn't really keep their house because the property taxes were as much as what some of the mortgages were here in Arizona, so they ended up downsizing and moving into a townhome, which did work good for them, but again, not everybody wants to still downsize and be paying such high property taxes. So Arizona, Florida may be a good choice. Arizona does have a strong and diverse economy. Technology, healthcare, defense, education, and tourism are all thriving in the state. And of course, there's the climate. Now, with over 300 days of sunshine each year, Arizona offers a chance to enjoy life outdoors, such as hiking, golfing, gardening, or just relaxing in your backyard in January. But here's the thing that most people don't realize is Arizona isn't one single lifestyle. It's a state of contrasts. From the lush pine forests and four seasons of the north, the desert sunrises in the south, and luxury resorts in the south. This is why Arizona has something for every kind of New Yorker. Now, I do want to, before I get too into it, realize that if you're going to be relocating in some of the areas that are the low desert, like Phoenix and Tucson, it does get very, very hot for the summer, and the summer lasts a very long time. Now, we do say it is a dry heat, which is true, but it is very hot. You might get tired of it. A lot of people just spend their summers indoors or by the pool, just like New Yorkers will spend their winters indoors to escape the cold. So it's just a little different side of the coin. Again, Northern Arizona has a different climate, which we will get into in a little bit. So because of, depending what you value most about your life in New York, there's part of Arizona that's going to fit every personality or lifestyle differently. So let's talk about the first group. If you love New York's culture, diversity, creative energy, you might feel most at home in Tucson. Tucson is Arizona's second largest city. It's a vibrant, university-driven community. It's known for its art scene, food culture, and progressive mindset, all surrounded by incredible desert landscapes. There's a strong sense of individuality here, focus on sustainability, education, and inclusivity. So in other words, if you love the soul of New York but want the space to breathe, Tucson could be your place. Also, if you're into more of the progressive politics, you may like Tucson better. If you have any children thinking of going to medical school, my daughter does live in Tucson because she is a graduate at the University of Arizona and is attempting to get into medical school. So if you're into the medical hub and think that your children may want to go that way, Tucson could be a good fit for you. Also, the cost of living in Tucson is much lower than other parts of the state, particularly lower than Sedona, where I live. A lot of times I have people coming and wanting to buy in Northern Arizona, Flagstaff, Sedona, and when they see the prices, they get sticker shock and they can buy something in Tucson for much, much less. So I do often refer some of my people coming to Arizona, looking in the north, to Tucson eventually because it's more budget friendly and it may ultimately fit your lifestyle a little bit better. Now, those of you who have built significant wealth and simply want the finer things of life, privacy, mountain views, world-class golf, that kind of thing, but don't want to spend so much of your income or your wealth in taxes, you may want to consider Paradise Valley. It's truly the Beverly Hills of Arizona, elegant estates, privacy, mountain views, and world-class golf. Also, you could consider Scottsdale, home to some of the upscale communities like Silverleaf, DC Ranch. My brother lives in like the McDowell Mountain Ranch, very beautiful area where you're going to find top dining, spas, nightlife, and some very polished lifestyle. And then of course there's Sedona. That's where I live. If you're looking for luxury, Sedona is always where I recommend. Beautiful homes, beautiful views, breathtaking, and it's known for its red rock scenery, art galleries, spiritual centers. Sedona is where luxury meets tranquility, and it's ideal for second home, houses, retirement, or just a different lifestyle. Again, I live in Sedona full-time as my primary residence, and you do get a lot of tourists coming through Sedona, which you also get in some of the other Arizona towns like Scottsdale, but as long as you're able to work around the very high tourist season, maybe you just go out and travel early in the morning, you can get around that again. That's only 2 months maybe in the spring and another 2-3 months in the fall, so we locals do work around the high number of tourists. But honestly, if you are looking for luxury and expensive living, and not everything in Sedona is expensive, but you do have many luxury homes that give you a lot of bang for your buck, especially if you're coming from the East Coast. I recommend Sedona quite a bit. So next, let's talk about affordability, because not everyone moving from New York is moving because they're wealthy and tired of the high taxes. If you are a family, a remote worker, or someone who just wants more home for your money, look at the East Valley of Phoenix metro area. Gilbert, Chandler, Queen Creek, all of those communities offer newer homes, strong schools, and a real sense of community. Now, I myself and my family moved in 1970. We landed in Chandler, Arizona, eventually moved to Gilbert, Arizona. I'm very familiar with those communities. I did spend 20 years in Ahwatukee, which is just west of Chandler, and actually have all of my family right now, or much of my family, living in Chandler, so I have a second home in Chandler also. Very good if you are a younger family or a technology person looking for a good career. Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Ahwatukee could be a good place for you. Another option though, again, if you can't stand the heat, is Prescott and Prescott Valley. You'll get the charming small town feel, cooler weather, and more affordable real estate, but still within a couple of hours of Phoenix if you have things that you need to do. And for many middle-class New Yorkers, these areas balance what they have been looking for: comfort, space, and affordability without sacrificing their quality of life. Of course, not everybody wants to give up on city life entirely. If you love the rhythm and the convenience of New York, the restaurants, the culture, the nightlife, consider downtown Phoenix, Old Town Scottsdale, or possibly even downtown Chandler. These areas are buzzing with modern life. Condos, rooftop lounges, concerts, art walks, and sports, and you will get that vibrant urban feel, but with the more sunshine and less chaos than you're going to have from your home. So think of it as New York's energy with the Arizona breathing room. Now, maybe you're somebody who loves the four seasons, the trees, the crisp air, that New England charm, and if that's you, you're probably going to fall in love with Flagstaff, Prescott, or even Sedona. Flagstaff sits at 7,000 foot elevation. It's surrounded by pine forests and even snow in the winter. In fact, some years Flagstaff gets a lot of snow. It has that college town energy from Northern Arizona University. I am an alumnus of Northern Arizona University. If you're going to send your kid to college while you're living here, please consider that. It's a lovely choice, and it's only an hour from the Grand Canyon, about 2 hours from Lake Powell. Many outdoor things to do, a wonderful place. And Prescott, on the other hand, feels kind of like a storybook town. It's got these historic homes, these Victorian homes, a real downtown courthouse square, and friendly community events all year long. Except people do get mad if you say it Prescott. They want you to say it Prescott, so I like to say Prescott in every one of my videos because it really ticks them off. So I know I have a weird sense of humor, but what can I say? You might be surprised how much the places remind you of the Northeast without the high taxes and the long commutes. So again, Prescott Valley, Flagstaff, Sedona has a little more of that New England charm that you might be missing if you're coming. Now let's talk about lifestyle, because moving to Arizona isn't just a change in scenery, it's a change in pace. Things move a lot slower here, and that's a good deal, especially if you're moving to Northern Arizona. Northern Arizona moves way slower than Phoenix, and I again think that's a good thing. People spend more time outdoors. There's more emphasis on work-life balance, on community, enjoying the little things in life, like watching the sunset from your porch. And if you're coming from the fast pace of New York, it might take you a little bit to adjust, especially like when you're waiting on somebody and they're like dilly-dallying and you're like, what's going on? Why do you move so slow? I make jokes about, living in Sedona, that we're on mountain time up here. Mountain time, for a reason. We work a little bit slower. So, and again, I can adjust to your pace because you know, I'm pretty flexible, but some of the locals might be moving a lot slower than you are used to. So Arizona really does have something for everyone, whether you want the mountain views, the desert trails, or just modern urban living. There is some place in the state for everybody. So if you are a New Yorker who's ready to make a change for the better lifestyle, better weather, more favorable politics to what your family believes, better cost of living, Arizona could be calling your name. And if you're needing help figuring out where you want to live, I would love to help. Again, my name is Dawn Dickinson. I am a full-time licensed real estate in the state of Arizona. And like I say, I do live in Sedona, Verde Valley, which is primarily where I sell, and Prescott. I also have a second home in Chandler, and I am very familiar with the Valley of the Sun. And if I am not working in an area that you are interested in moving to, I could give you a little bit of information about it, and I could set you up and refer you to an agent that works primarily in that area. So whether you're dreaming of Sedona, Scottsdale, the cool pines of Flagstaff, I can guide you every step of the way, from exploring the neighborhoods to finding your perfect home. So reach out to me directly. My contact information is always in the description below, and you can give me a call, a text, an email, and I will get back to you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have, please consider subscribing to the channel. The channel is Living in Northern Arizona. I post videos like this every single week to help people who are thinking of relocating to the state of Arizona. If you would hit the like button, subscribe, that would really help out my channel. I post videos every week, so I hope to see you back here again on my channel next week, and I hope you have a great week.